disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use as a use permitted it by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing.
Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Afro Goddess. Please do me a favor and hit the thumbs up on your way into the room. Now today what we're going to talk about this video is going to be about the passive income scam. Now we all know, it's just scams, all kinds of scams all over the place, right? We know this already, right? So the passive income, well, let's see how passive it is, shall we? All right, y'all, let's get into the video.
Passive income, the holy grail of personal finance topics. The ability to earn money without doing anything. It quite literally doesn't get any better than that, does it? And it's something that you'll see video after video and ad after ad talking about, pushing the idea that millionaires earn 7 different streams of income, so should you. There's just one problem. Passive income doesn't exist. Not really anyway. There are of course ways of making money that deviate from your standard 9 to 5, where time spent working and compensation have a pretty linear relationship. But the vast majority of the so-called passive income strategies that you see advertised online, especially here on YouTube, are at best misrepresented, and at worst, completely fabricated to prey on the financially desperate. Now, it's not to say that some of these strategies don't have their merits. While I don't like the term passive income, some of these things might make you money over time. But for the ones that sound too good to be true, where you quite literally don't have to put in any effort, you're often more likely to lose money when you consider the fees and registration costs that you're being charged to even try this thing. So let's break down why passive income isn't all that promising, but why you keep hearing about it on today's Plain Bagel. Passive income is usually used to reference an income stream that is somewhat self-sustaining, in that once you set it up, it doesn't necessarily require your active involvement, meaning that you can have more time to yourself to hang by the poolside or play video games or do whatever you want. But outside the lottery or a lucky inheritance, there's not really such a thing as passive income, at least in that truest sense. Instead, when people say passive income, they're really referring to one of two things: investment income or entrepreneurial income. Now, certainly, there's nothing wrong with these approaches, and they do change how your effort is rewarded, but they don't eliminate that effort requirement. And there's a very easy explanation as to why anything that promises a high reward without any effort is, in most cases, a gimmick. But let's start by explaining these two streams of income.
Well, that makes sense, right? I think that makes sense. I've always believed too, when something sounds too good to be true, isn't good at all, for the most part. Or just like he said, that, without some long time, not long term, but long time, it's going to take you to get there. You can get there. You could become a millionaire. You could be making all this money, blah, blah, blah. But it's going to take you some time to get there. But when you use that word passive income, it's like money like this, just without no kind of effort putting in it or anything like that. Yeah, I never believed stuff like that. It's just too good to be true. That's just like money just falling down in your lap, basically, right? So, yeah. All right, back to the video, y'all.
Starting with investment income, the idea of owning assets that generate some sort of yield, whether that be stocks, bonds, or I'll throw in rental properties here as well. Now, obviously, as an investment-focused channel, I have no problem with people making money from their investments. I would naturally hope that you do. But as a passive income strategy, it comes with a pretty big caveat. It requires that you have money in the first place to purchase those income-producing assets. In fact, when people reference millionaires earning 7 different streams of income, which stems from a 2002 report from the IRS, it's not often mentioned that 4 of those strategies, dividend, rental, interest, and capital gains income, require money in the first place to achieve. And a good amount of it if you really want to earn anything meaningful. If you could reliably achieve a 7% return on your money, for example, and you wanted to replace your annual active salary of $42,000 a year, which is roughly the average personal income in the US, you would need to accumulate $600,000 in net savings.
Now, I agree with that as well. In order for you to make money or to see the money that you want to see, you have to put a large sum of money in it. You do. You can't just put a little tiny bit of money on something and think it's going to grow up to be the real big thing. Again, that word passive, right? Now, we're not talking about long term or a certain amount of time. Let's just say within a month, you become a millionaire. You know what I mean? But passive means like this, right? But back to what I was just saying. In order to make money, you got to have money. You just do. That's just the way that it is, you know? I don't know, but I've always believed that. I always believed that you have to make money. In order for you to make money, you have to have money. So, to put into it. Anyway, back to the video.
Not an easy first step for passive income. Now, there are some strategies that I've seen that do promise to earn you that passive income without needing that upfront capital or effort. For example, investment bots that take whatever you have and grow it faster than the market using proprietary software. Or courses that promise to show you how to start building a real estate empire by putting 5% down on several different properties when you're 19. The problem is that these products never represent the true risk-reward trade-off that you face implementing them. The idea, for example, that someone should take everything they have and put it into a down payment on a rental property is stupid. It's bad financial advice, because while real estate on average is a good investment category and is a legitimate strategy for building wealth given the rental income and the appreciation, it also comes with large unexpected costs and risks, like a broken water heater, a hole in the roof that you need to repair. That's a real thing. My parents had to deal with that over the summer, and I helped them cut a tree out of their roof. There's also the risk of your payments increasing, something that many are becoming painfully aware of as interest rates rise. So clearly, if you don't have a cash buffer to help absorb these extra costs or a couple months of unpaid tenant rent, then it could be enough to sink any thinly run operation. As for trading bots, they don't work. I don't care what YouTuber told you that they made 20% this past month. It's utter survivorship bias that may as well be advertising a roulette wheel because it'll give you the same odds. So right away, you can see why I struggle with people emphasizing the passive nature of investment income. Yes, if you get to a point where you have enough capital, it can be a very powerful tool for freeing up your schedule if you end up relying on that type of income. But it requires more savings from actively generated income than the average individual will likely ever achieve. But what about other forms of passive income? Well, going back to the 7 streams of millionaire income, which people like to focus on, when you exclude the earned income, since that's for losers, there are 2 remaining avenues: royalties/licensing and business profits, aka entrepreneurial income. Now, the idea of an entrepreneur's income being passive should sound a little laughable. According to a New York Enterprise Report survey, the average small business owner works twice as hard as their employees, with 25% working at least 60 hours a week. So leaving your 9 to 5 for a business venture to free up your schedule probably isn't going to work out. Still, there are some ventures advertised online that allegedly let you set up some sort of self-sustaining business that doesn't require any amount of effort, something that you can set up and leave to its own devices to earn you money. This includes your drop shipping stores, ad placement strategies, selling digital products, content creation, and convoluted pyramid schemes that promise you financial freedom if if you get 3 other suckers to pay for the program that you just sunk a few $1,000s into yourself. Now, as someone who makes money from YouTube, obviously, I'll concede that there's merit to some of these strategies. Some of these strategies can make you money. With digital products, for example, the idea is that once you create this thing of value and put it on the internet, you can sell it and keep making money for it over time. And there's some truth and validity to that strategy. It doesn't require the same type of maintenance as a traditional business. But the idea is that to get to that point where you have this thing of value, you oftentimes still require a good amount of effort, among other things. And there's a very easy explanation as to why the promise of high returns with low effort with some of these strategies doesn't hold any water. Take dropshipping, for example. The basic idea of dropshipping is that you build a storefront online that sells products manufactured and shipped by a third party, so that you can earn a markup without dealing with any of the logistics. The basic setup can take just a few hours and likely costs under $500 to get set up with a web domain or online storefront. Perhaps even less if you use a site like Amazon to sell your product, or a service such as Teespring, where you can design your own shirts and sell through their website. After that, you won't need to sit at a cash register or stock any shelves to make any type of sale. And it's all pretty well automated for you. Awesome. So what's the catch to this low effort and low cost strategy? Well, just that, ironically. Because of how easy it is for an individual to set up a store and dropship something as novel as a fancy coffee mug, you can bet that there will be thousands of others doing the exact same thing, possibly with the exact same product, providing an insurmountable supply of novelties when there are probably 10 people out there who actually want this thing. But then Richard, why are some people successful using these strategies? Why do we have any case example of Jimmy making 10 grand a week thanks to him signing up for so-and-so's course on YouTube? Well, personally, I want to address that most case examples shown in these ads are incredibly biased and shouldn't be relied upon. And the people who take the route of showing individual success stories rather than showing the strategy success rate at a high statistical level probably have thousands of other students who fail to break even using their approach. Even still, some people do at times.
Now let me say this: some things that you do, you can make money, but like he said, in some cases, you can't. Why I say this? Because everything depends on who you know and where you're located, right? That plays a very, very major part. Let me give you an example. Just like him. You can have someone that actually put their all into a craft, like their sweat, blood, and tears into their craft. But then you have someone else who's doing the same thing as you and then put little to no effort in it and making more money than you are. Why? It could be because who they are. It could be because where they live. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying. And according on who you know. That plays a very major part in it. Keep that in mind. Anyway, back to the video. I would go more in depth with that, but if I did that, it would be, then people start, saying some other retarded stuff, and I ain't got time for that. All right, but y'all know where I'm coming from. Right? People, places, where you live. Man, forget it. Let me just say, where you live, right? As opposed to someone who living in Cherry Hill, like a more upscale neighborhood or whatever, and then you got someone who's living in the project. Who you think is going to make the money quicker? The person that live in a project that's putting their blood, sweat, and tears into it, or someone who's living on top of the hill some goddamn where, who's putting less money into it? Right? Then it depends on who you are. We're not going to play this game It depends on, it depends on too, y'all, what race you are. That plays a part as well. Not all the time, but majority of the time. Okay, so we're not going to play this game. And it depends on who you know. For an example, you get just an ordinary person like myself, right? But then you have a celebrity or whatever. They just automatically just grandfather in. Me, I don't work my tail off, bags all up underneath my eyes, didn't get no sleep, sometimes go hungry because I don't want to, take no time out to eat because time is precious, right? So I'm more likely that's not going to make the money that the person who celebrity child is making. So that's what I mean by that. All right. Got it? Good. All right. Back to the video. That was just an example. But back to the video.
Make money with these entrepreneurial ventures. And there are typically 3 reasons why. The first is timing. As with most ventures, there is some first mover advantage, and the first dropshippers probably did make a good amount of money with their low effort storefronts at a time where online stores weren't as prevalent. But returns from these ventures quickly diminish over time as more and more people take advantage of it, leading to that oversupply situation that quickly eliminates the opportunity for everyone else. It's basic arbitrage. Even those that make money from this venture probably won't see sustainable cash flows. A successful dropshipping store, for example, might make money for a few months, perhaps even a year, but will eventually see activity die down if it's truly left to its own devices. So by the time you see an ad for a course that someone spent a few months putting together after trying a passive income strategy themselves and getting 3 other success stories to back it, you can bet that the opportunity has probably already passed. Now, the second factor for success with these online strategies, as you can probably guess, is luck. As someone who makes money on YouTube, I would love to say that there's a surefire way to get to this position, but I don't believe there is. There are over 720,000 hours of content uploaded every day on YouTube alone, and nearly 90% of that will never pass the 1,000 view mark, at which point you might make a few dollars. Luck plays a role in every entrepreneurial effort, and the same applies to online courses, ebooks, blogs, any digital product where you're fighting in a sea of content creators to stay afloat and be recognized. And then that brings in the third factor of success, effort. Nearly 90% of e-commerce stores fail within the first 4 months, including companies with a unique product set. But the ones that will do well are likely the ones where people put in more time and effort to customize their products, work with suppliers to secure new drops before competitors, market their goods. In other words, actively earning their keep. And true, if you have a successful product, there might be some recurring revenue thereafter, but oftentimes that revenue will slow down over time. Sustained revenue on YouTube, for example, requires that you put in continual content as views often trickle out. YouTube, for me, has been a second job, one that I love, and I'm definitely not complaining about it. But between researching, script writing, filming, and editing, I wouldn't say there's anything passive about it. But then, why do we keep seeing others promote these different strategies? Well, that's an easy one, because truly one of the most successful and lucrative passive income strategies that I'll let you in on is selling passive income strategies. The reason one of the most watched finance videos on YouTube is 9 passive income ideas, how I make $27,000 a week, is because there's quite literally nothing more financially appealing than making money without any effort. And the reason you'll be served ads about how dropshipping is making people rich is not because dropshipping is actually making people money, but because the person that is giving that ad makes money from selling that idea with the sign-up fees for their course or their academy, even though you'll likely make less on an hourly basis using that type of strategy than you would driving for Uber, for example. So, it's been a little negative so far, but my intent here isn't actually to discourage you from pursuing one of these passive income strategies if that's what you want to do. If you think there'd be demand for an online course or an ebook on a subject that you happen to be an expert in, I actually say go for it. You might just happen to make some money along the way of pursuing your passion in this venture. But my point is that you need to go into it eyes open. Passive income really just means front loading your work, not eliminating it. And the vast majority of strategies do require some form of continued effort to sustain the money that you're making. You get out what you put in, and your success will be a function of your application, opportunity, and most importantly, your effort. Now, none of this is to criticize people who use the term passive income or share ideas freely on how to make extra cash on the side. And there is, of course, something to be said for trying your hand at entrepreneurship to try and build some supplemental income. So if you want to try out one of these strategies, all the power to you. But be aware of the time and the capital that you're spending to make this money to deem whether it's worth it. And maybe don't add to your break-even hurdle by buying a $2,000 course on dropshipping from someone who's just trying to fund their own passive income strategy. If their strategy was so successful that it lets them make money poolside without any effort, they wouldn't need to sell you an ad on YouTube. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please do make sure to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Papa needs to earn his passive income. And if you have any thoughts on these strategies that we've talked about today, I would love to hear your thoughts, especially if you've tried one of them, and even especially if you disagree with me. Maybe you think there's opportunity here that I'm overlooking. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks for joining, and be safe out there.
Do y'all believe in passive income? I mean, it's just like he said too. It's some people they just get lucky that way, you know. But a lot of times, passive income, it to me, yeah, it doesn't. It really don't exist. Really, I agree on that. But again, you got some people that are just lucky that way. You know, I'm not one of those. So, you know, I just got to continue to put my hard, you know, sweat and tears in what it is that I do, whatever that may be, right? So I hope y'all like this video. I hope you can use this information, and hit the thumbs up, share my videos, like my videos, and also leave me a comment. I love looking at comments, you know, even if it's the bad ones, I don't care. I just like reading them anyway. So everybody, until next time, everybody stay safe. Peace, and Afro Goddess is out. Until next time.